Hi everyone, welcome to the webinar this afternoon. My name is Travis Smith from Microsoft in Australia. I'm the Teacher Engagement Manager for Microsoft and look after lots and lots of things, including our academic programs, and also Minecraft is one of the things that we have in schools and is getting a lot of traction. And I suppose the exciting thing for tonight that we've got on the webinar is that we are um, going to hear from some teachers in terms of what they've been doing with the product. So it's all well and good to go to a website and to sort of see what it's about, but there's nothing quite replaces the idea of seeing a teacher and listening to a teacher talk about what they've been doing. So welcome aboard, and we are recording this. So if something happens and you end up dropping off or something during the webinar, fear not, we will record it and we shall post this out so everyone can watch it, and you can get other people to watch it too if they're interested. So we have, just before I introduce the people that we are hearing from today, just want to take you through a little bit of background here. There are different versions of Minecraft, which many of you on the call will know, and some of you may not know because you might be just sort of novices joining to hear what the Minecraft buzz is about in education. But there are definitely different versions of it. And there's certainly the version that the kids play on their own. They might play it on a computer or play on their iPad or even play on a phone. And then there's the version we're talking about today, which is actually called Minecraft Education Edition. And Minecraft Education Edition is a different product which basically allows schools and teachers to log in via an Office 365 account, and it has some additional features, hopefully those which you'll hear about, some of those you'll hear about tonight on the call. So just to level set that we're talking about Minecraft Education Edition here, which is specific and has some different features in it for educating that we'll hear about tonight. So during the presentation, if you're interested to have a look at that website, I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour of that later on, but the education.minecraft.net website is the place where you can go and find lots of resources, training, and information about the product. So, without further ado, we have 4 presenters who are going to hopefully share with us something today. We've got Chris Civadino from Callaghan College in New South Wales, Lynn Telfer from the Grange Peter 12 College in Victoria, Lawrence Dirks from Abbotsleigh School in New South Wales, and Jason Milner from Northam Grammar School in New South Wales as well. And these are all teachers who have been doing some things in their classroom with this technology, and I asked them to jump in and just tell us a little bit of a 7-minute story about what they've been doing in their classroom. So I might stop sharing my screen now, and I'm going to introduce to you Chris. And Chris is going to hopefully share his screen in, so go for it, Chris, and unmute when you're ready. And Chris is going to talk to us about some of the work that they've been doing at Callaghan College in New South Wales using Minecraft Education Edition. So I can see that your screen is loading in now.
Hopefully you can all see it. It's just a PowerPoint presentation. Not sure if it's loading.
Yep. It's
okay. Well, my name's Chris Savino. I'm from Callaghan College, just outside Walls End campus, just at Newcastle. We did the educational pilot for New South Wales, one of 10 schools, and we really enjoyed it. I, to start, was an absolute Minecraft novice. I had no idea how to play it. I love computers and technology and video games, but Minecraft just never really was something I looked into. And then we got asked to do the trial, and I thought, hey, why not? We had a look. So one of the things that we have is something called Canvas, which is a learning management system, and we help to lay our lessons out in a certain. When we got started with Minecraft, I thought, well, let's just jump and blowing things up and lighting things on fire, and I had no idea what was happening. And then I thought, well, like any lesson, you can't just go give kids a whole bunch of tools and let them run off. So I decided, well, all right, let's put a bit more structure to it. So the first thing that I figured out is looking at some clearly identified rules and expectations to make sure that it ran well. So this is just a sample lesson that we whipped up really quickly, and this one was, looking at sustainable aspects of the new geography syllabus, looking at sustainable houses. So they had to do a little bit of research ahead of time. They had to go through all the different that was there, and I just copied that and we ran with it. So they did their little chart just to get them started with some research, and then I had them get in there and start doing some building. They came up with some really interesting things. When we started, it wasn't just me. It was we put the whole school on, and there were several other teachers teaching Uni geography that I wanted to get going. Unfortunately, they were having issues getting on, and when they joined, we ran into some issues where kids were joining on other people's servers and doing the wrong thing. So the best thing to do was to just have them share the IP address and go from there. So what I did is I created basically a how to log in and get going for dummies. So on the PowerPoint, which I'll share, just the link to instructions, you click that. It's a PowerPoint on how to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Rules of engagement for Minecraft. So I didn't know what griefing was, but apparently that's when you destroy things in Minecraft. So she went through and had the kids go through and make this list, and then those are the rules we used for the school. So they went through, and it's been really quite good. So as part of the lesson, you need to make sure you cover your digital citizenship so the students fully understand the rules and expectations, and that the work in Minecraft is like the work in the classroom, and it can be created or destroyed. Also, planning projects is super important. This is part of the PBL template. There's actually a Microsoft PBL template, I believe, that was done with Pip Cleaves, and it's fantastic, and it's just good for planning projects from start to finish. To get the pedagogical outcomes that you're looking for, it's really, really important that you focus on where you want to go with the project, have the kids do the inquiry phase, figure out what the driving question is going to be, and then from that, move forward into the creation phase. If you just sit them down in front of the computer for an hour, yep.
I'll just pause you there, mate. We've just lost your screen sharing, so if you can share that in again for us, that'd be great.
All right.
We had it up until that point.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Hopefully it's connecting now.
Yep, looks like it's going to come through now.
All right. Am I back? Yes, no, maybe.
Nearly. Yes, I can see the OneNote Pbl template on your screen. Thanks, mate.
Yes, all right. So that's this is just like a project manager template. There's a whole bunch of different things that are in there for proper creation of project-based learning, all based on the Buck Institute Son of Gold standards. Really, really useful for having kids plan their project to make sure there's a beginning, middle, end, and reflection, which is kind of the most important part. Have them build, this is an example of a medieval castle that they built. Having them build a castle, yeah, that's one thing. Having them research all the aspects of the castle and then be able to communicate that information to the different students and have different roles and disseminate who's doing what and use those future-focused learning skills of, collaboration, critical thinking, and all those sort of things are really, really, really important to plan. This is, hopefully it will work, just a little bit of a recording of two students built a medieval castle. Oh, sorry, I'll have to go back to that. Built a medieval castle and actually set up a jousting ring in there as part of their, so this is a year 8 class as part of the medieval thing. So they did this in about 3 lessons total. So they actually set up their own little jousting pit. I didn't ask them to do it. They did it totally on their own, and they just went through. I don't know if you can see it all right, but they successfully were able to get it to work with a bit of fun. So that was one of the activities they did, just as kind of an aside, but they had to research all the jousting and everything that they had done in that instance. Now, this is an example. I don't know. Hopefully you can still see it. All right. This is an example of that sustainable houses activity I talked about. So I just gave them, this one was just a flat world. They went through and researched different aspects of sustainability, and then they just went through and basically it's like going back to the 1950s and building dioramas, but that really allows them to kind of be very creative. And my classes are about a mix 50-50 girls and boys. They all seem to really be into it, and they were all able to, once they get their head around how to do it, they really, really, really enjoyed doing it. So they had to go through all the different aspects on windmills and solar panel and sustainable farming and all those sort of things. They had to create it, and then these are all recorded using Office Mix. Office Mix is really, really useful for screen recording because it's difficult to record your screen in Minecraft. What you can see here, hopefully on my screen, is a 3D printed project. This is another Year 8 class doing Polynesian history, and I had them research moai, which are those big stone heads from Easter Island, and they went through, they did the research of where they were. They had to be sitting on the coast, facing inland, the size generally. They went and designed them in blocks in Minecraft, and then we were actually able to export that file using one of the structure blocks. It's easy instructions on the internet how to do it, and then it gives you a file that you can just put straight into your 3D printer, and then you can see on the far right there my little plastic 3D printed moai. So it actually
1 minute left, Chris. You don't mind?
Sorry?
Just 1 minute left, right? Yep.
Oh yeah, righto. All right, and then finally, not finally, but one of the projects we're doing, you have here an example of this is a science class where they had to create a bunch of different plants and plant structures, and then actually go into the plants and explain the roots and how they worked, and they had to think about it in virtual reality because we were actually part of a project with the University of Newcastle where the students are using virtual reality headsets and the Oculus Rift to go and create in Minecraft in 3D. So that's the Win 10 version, but it's still, this was the creation that they did in Education Edition, and they've gone through and they've labeled their plants and everything from that. This is an example of the Nori gate. This is an example of one of the things that one of our Japanese teachers did. She's exported e-portfolios here, and you can see here's some of the pictures of the different students' work. So that's pretty much all I have. I could talk for days about it. If you're interested in the VR School research that's being done, you can just go to vrschoolresearch.com or click on the link in the PowerPoint when I send it out.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Chris. Awesome projects. Love the idea of the 3D integration in there. Love the link to the VR School stuff. So thank you so much. You feel free to stop sharing your screen and then have a look in the IM window because there are some people there who've been celebrating your work. So feel free to engage those guys in a discussion. So I might get Lynn Telfers next to join in and share her screen so that we can hear what's been going on in Lynn's classroom. So Lynn, have a go, see how we go.
I certainly will. Hi everybody.
Welcome.
Thank you, it's wonderful to be here. Hi Bron. Okay, so I'll just get this all set up looking a little bit better than that. Hang on a second. All right. So basically I'm from Melbourne, and I'm in the Grange College P12. I've been there a couple of years now. My journey started with Minecraft about 4 or 5 years ago when my daughter pulled me into it, and I discovered that I absolutely loved the community and I loved building. And that's the start of it. And after that, I started building for Minecraft YouTubers and sort of got into that area as well with YouTubing.
Just try and share your screen in again, Lynn, because it hasn't started yet. No.
Oh, okay. It's all right. I'll try that again. All right, let me just find that. Okay, yes, I forgot to hit the present button.
Mm-hmm.
Go me. All right, I'll just get the PowerPoint up. Okay. Can you see that now?
Not yet.
Connecting, it says?
Yes, that's trying now, so I'll let you know when I see something. And usually with my internet, I'm a little slower than most, so when I can see it, most people can see it. So, yeah, I can see your screen now, Lynn, so shoot.
Lovely. Okay, no worries. So, about, I don't know what that was, about 2.5 years ago, and a YouTuber by the name of Garrett Zimmer decided that he wanted to get involved with the education side of it, and we formed MindGauge, and we've been working on educational part of Minecraft ever since. So you can imagine we've been very excited about Minecraft Education Edition coming out and what it's happened in my classroom. So what I thought I'd do is I'd give you a little taste of lots of things have been happening. So I'm basically going to sort of throw everything at you in the time I've got, and just give you a little taste of what's been happening. All right. So the first thing that I loved was the little agent that comes with Minecraft now with the coding. One thing that kids complained about is that we can't change his skin. So we actually had a little competition about who could design the best agent. So I think art and design really came out here, and the kids had a little ball in that one. I actually took those pictures to Houston with me to show at Mindfair. Now the first one I want to show you very quickly is one that is just started called Atlantis 2.0. This is the Mariana Trench map done in Minecraft using GIS data that a company called Atheon did for me. And we basically have the map now put into Education Edition, and what I've done is I've put a research vessel on the top and a whole lot of blue glass representing where the water would be, taking into account that there's the restrictions in Minecraft to the height. Now down here you can see there's a little bit of a building down here. What the kids have to do in this particular challenge is they have a robot, whether it's a Tinkerbot or whether it's the agent, and it's got to move from the ship down and build a city in one command. These are some of the kids working on that project. They went absolutely crazy with this. The whole class was very, very much engaged. And what we did is we went to a flat land, looked at the already done tutorials, and looked at how we could then structure our own parts of a underwater city. They've only just started that, and it was really a bit of a taste test. So that's going to continue on next year. The one thing about this project is I could see a lot more things that we could do with this particular project. And I've looked at the whole curriculum and seen how we can actually incorporate some of those ideas into this project. For example, setting up the educational system for the people who are going to live in Atlantis 2.0, which is going to be under the sea here. What's the economy going to look like? How people are going to get their resources to and from the base. We're looking at the maths, the economy, engineering, food production, all of those things I'm going to be incorporating, and I'm writing a book about this so I can then share that out with teachers. A very quick one is a human timeline. This one, unfortunately, I don't have any pictures of, but what I did is I made a timeline along a flat land, and the kids would then research a character and make that character stand on the timeline relevant to them. Now, using the new NPC dialogues and commands that we can use, these little NPCs can become quite interactive and innovative. So you can then talk to Julius Caesar rather than just looking at a spreadsheet or activity sheet and filling in information on that. Then the kids can walk up and down and talk to all the different characters. One thing that happened from last November was the Skype-a-thon, and I was very honoured to talk to an author called Sean Fay Wolf. And from that spark, a huge amount of learning has taken place since. He and I have actually presented in Houston back in May at Mindfair, and it was all to do with literacy in Minecraft. And from that, and in my classroom, we've actually made an activity where you are able to go into the world that you see behind and interact with the characters from his books, the Elementary Chronicles. And then you are able to take screenshots and to make your own book. Here's the example one that I did for the presentation. So that is a PowerPoint template, and the kids can then paste in their pictures and write their own story. And the thing that I absolutely loved is the Byproducts of Minecraft, and this is actually the castle from Element City, straight from the Minecraft map. As you can see, I've painted it as well. Very quickly, this one here is a pretty popular lesson I wrote on educationminecraft.net, which is creating Fred the Human Body, which has been absolutely wonderful. For the last time I heard about this one being used, it was in Holland, so I had to get it translated. So I've got that lesson sitting on the educationminecraft.net, and that also includes a video and a whole lot of other information. And the last one, I'll be very quick with, is the Anzac Experience. This was made for the actual Anzac week for Gallipoli, and the map was quite beautiful. It's made by a company called Athian, and I helped sort of put in all the pieces. One thing about this is I've been teaching about the Anzac Cove for years, but this is the first time I actually felt it, where I could actually stand somewhere and then look at a historical photo and compare and see exactly what it was really like. Now, with this particular resource, I've been able to use a whole lot of multimodal, I'll go back there.
1 minute left, Lynn.
Yep, that's good. Things like I've used Sway, the Microsoft official blog has this, the Minecraft official blog has this. I've used mixed PowerPoint, all these resources together to allow the kids to really enrich their learning about Anzac and actually become part of it. And there's a lot more potential of this that I can work on next year. And again, of course, I had to print out Anzac Cove. And that really helped a lot of the kids as well. In fact, the principal went crazy because he started naming all the areas because he's been there. And to finish off, in 2018, we're starting the Grange Genius Hour, and that's to allow me to get all these ideas out further than just my classroom and a few others who are just interested, but allow the kids to have access to all these wonderful things on Tuesday afternoons, and to get the teachers far more interested. Unfortunately, I'm not a senior where I can say, hey, everybody come and have a look at this. I'm the ground level teacher, so it's sort of hard to get information out sometimes. But this is only a taste of a whole lot of things that have been happening within my classroom, and also using with the international community that I'm involved with, because I'm a Minecraft mentor. And that's it, really.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. I've got a few questions for you in the IM window, Lynn. So thank you so much for sharing, doing some amazing work there. Pretty advanced, really, in terms of the 3D shapes and the printing out and all that sort of stuff. So fantastic work, and thank you so much for being willing and available to share with us this evening on the webinar. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, we might throw to, we'll see whether Lawrence can connect now. See if you can share your screen in, Lawrence. I'm not sure how you're going there. You've been dropping in and out a bit, but let's see if we can get your screen in. Lawrence is from Abbottsley School in New South Wales, and I think I can hear you, mate.
Hello, hello.
Hello. So see if you can share your screen in. Yep, it looks like it's loading in now. To tell us the story, Abbottsley have been using Minecraft for a little while now, so it'd be interesting to see what you've been up to. So I can see your screen.
Can you see something? What can you see?
I can see your Skype window, and you're about to open your PowerPoint.
Ooh, that's okay. All right. Apologies. I've had some connection issues.
That's all right.
So I am a keen Minecrafter from way back, as in long time ago. So I really am a nerd, and I have been very excitedly using Minecraft for quite some time, and super excited that we've now got something that integrates with Office 365, because when we do projects here, we do them through a whole year level. So managing accounts through Office 365 just makes it so easy. So that's like my favorite feature, is that I can just hand an account to a girl, do the project, take the account back. So I love that about it. Okay, so my biggest, I guess, thing for Minecraft is that it really does stimulate creativity, and it's a very student-centered approach to teaching and learning. Teachers who love Minecraft love it because it's student-centered. And, you know, when I've seen teachers, so my role in the school is, I guess, an IT support role. And so I come up with these crazy projects, and then the teachers kind of go, oh, gee, and then they don't, because they're kind of very traditional in their approach. And the girls just love it, and they become very independent. So this particular project here is on the settlement of White Australia. And the Year 4s, I actually built this as a part of the environment that the Year 4s were going to go into. So they had just done early settlement, and they'd finished that as a topic, and the science teacher had asked me to work with Year 4 on exploring materials. And the role and the simulation they were going to do was, they were the first settlers in Australia, first white settlers. They had to begin to build the first settlement. So I put them as their starting point on what I am calling my first fleet. So one of the things I love about Minecraft is that teachers actually have really powerful creative tools to create environments that make the girls, well, my girls' school, that make the kids just kind of blow their minds, like, this is amazing, the fact that they're in this place. So for me, it's really about teachers having creative tools to create amazing environments to stimulate that imagination and creativity. So that was kind of like when I realized, wow, look what I can make for my class. Like, I'm not just designing clever worksheets, I'm building worlds for them to explore. So the Year 4s then went through a process of creating their first settlement, and they had to be able to explain the kind of materials they were using to build, why they were using this, how did an early settler have access to this particular material, and the processes. And one of the things that I noticed with that class in particular is that students who weren't traditionally strong academically, they were the ones who suddenly came to the fore. They were the ones who were suddenly helping everybody else. So this was empowering learners that in other forms of learning weren't perhaps so successful. And that's when I realized there's something really phenomenal here. So that was kind of like one of my discoveries with the Year 4 project. I did another project with Year 5 that tapped into the gold rush, the Victorian gold rush, and I worked with a number of the Year 5 teachers, and again we built a the basics of a gold mining settlement, and then we dropped the girls in that situation, and we set up an economy in that where they had to go mining for gold. They found gold nuggets, and of course they could then buy other materials and equipment. Now in the gold rush, of course, there were different classes, rich and poor. So we simulated, some of the students were poor gold miners, some of them were rich. So the rich gold miners that were on the gold fields, they had a lot of equipment. So of course, we gave the girls, the rich ones, a lot of equipment. And it was interesting to see the dynamics that took place. And we were simulating a day in the life of a miner. And we found that girls would even go and follow each other, and there was acts of theft and acts of violence, and real life scenarios began to play themselves out in this simulated environment. And it's that simulation that gives them, learning becomes an experience, not just content that they know. It's like they really were a gold miner. So that was a project we did with Year 5. And that's just the general store. So we had a general store where if the girls needed more tools, that we would give them tools. If the girls needed food, they could buy food, and they would use what they mined. I did plan out some mine shafts, and I did rebuild them the way that they might have looked. So I did invest a lot of time, but like I said, I'm a bit of a Minecraft nerd. I did a fractions project with Year 7. It was a revision task. The maths teacher was really keen to explore Minecraft and this type of learning where the girls were moving around in a virtual environment. So we did some brainstorming, what might fractions look like in Minecraft, and we built what we were calling a fractions park. And we wanted the girls to, be able to describe and identify fractions, not just written down in paper in numerical form, but in the real world, so to speak. So what fraction of these garden beds are a particular flower? What fraction of that structure is a particular colour? Sorry, we good?
Just 1 minute, Lawrence. Yep, it's going beautifully.
Yep.
Thanks.
We also used Onenote to manage that learning, to make the learning as independent as possible. So I took the screenshot and said, all right, girls, here are your tasks. So Onenote became important for us to manage the learning in the virtual world. We also did a project on redstone. That was about computational thinking because we wanted our girls to kind of extend their computational thinking. I will quickly jump through. The project we're currently finishing is a history project where the girls in their individual cultural groups are trading the goods that the Silk Road traders were trading. So the first task was for them to build marketplaces that reflected their cultural style. And then once their marketplace was built, they had to then find each other. So they had to then use the X and Z coordinates that are built into Minecraft to find the different cultural groups. And the goal was to kind of do as many trades as possible, whether it was beads of glass or horses. And of course, the anvil in Minecraft allows you to rename items. So I just renamed a whole bunch of items so that they could trade silk. I just used cobwebs, and to rename it on the anvil. So that's some of the projects that I've done. There's some of the stuff that Xi'an, that particular group, had to do. So, yeah, I love it. Feel free to follow me on Twitter, ICT Lawrence. I share my bits and pieces from time to time. So.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Lawrence, and we'll get you to put your Twitter handle in the IM pane. If you could just stop.
I will do that right now.
Stop presenting for me, and I'll get Jason set up. But thank you so much for sharing what you're doing with the students at Abbottsley. Wonderful ideas there, amazing depth in terms of, creating a currency so that the girls can have those real world experiences is just brilliant. And it's really interesting how, just get you to start sharing in, Jace, if you can.
Yeah, no worries.
Yep, good on you. Yep, it's coming through now. It's really interesting to hear how the behavior in the classroom, even when they're interacting in that sort of Minecraft world, mirrors what is happening. You can see your screen there, mate. What is happening, within the virtual environment. And I think Jason is probably going to tell us a story about the work that he was doing where students were creating a couple of different worlds. But I'll throw now to Jason Milner, who's from Northholm Grammar School in New South Wales. So take it away, Jace.
Thanks, Travis. And thank you so much for the opportunity to share with you guys. So I thought I might just share one unit that my students have been working on. So we've been exploring democracy, and I've tried to integrate a range of different KLAs into this unit, just to let students explore the possibilities. So my unit is about, I really wanted to find an interesting way to teach democracy. It can be quite a dry subject and quite difficult for students to understand. So to assist with sort of avoiding this issue, I set out to help my students explore the concept of democracy, but through the complete opposite. Instead, they're looking at a futuristic dystopian society. We first explored and discussed Hunger Games, and then we completed a novel study based on texts that were around a dystopian society. So there are four texts that students read, and these texts were read all before the students even started to interact with Minecraft. I thought I'd just quickly show you the KLA links and some of the outcomes from the syllabus. So this was for a Stage 3 class, Year 6. And in history, we're focusing on, as I said, democracy, looking at citizenship, the rights of different people within a society. In geography, I really wanted to look at how we as people interact with the natural environment. In English, we're focusing on comprehension, especially with this visualizing. And then in mathematics, we're looking at position, looking at maps, and exploring that kind of thing as well. One huge thing, especially with the release of the new syllabus, the geography syllabus, is I wanted to make sure I was hitting different aspects of that, especially as it's becoming, we have to do it next year. So I got my students to create topographical maps. They were taking aerial shots of the Minecraft world, but also then going outside and using our drone to take shots of the whole school and then comparing that to the Minecraft world too. We were practicing using satellite images with Google Maps and then comparing that to Minecraft, and then looking at longitude and latitude, which is in Minecraft. I'm just going to play this video, and this contains a bit of an idea of what our world is. So I set for my students to design or to create two different worlds, one that demonstrated a dystopian society and one that demonstrated a democracy society, democracy-based society. And they really went for it. What I loved about it was students were using the novels that they'd been reading and the stories they'd been learning about a dystopian society, and they were recreating that futuristic kind of place in the world of Minecraft. From there, when they were able to jump onto the other side of the tracks, I guess, they were able to then go, right, well, that's the dystopian society. Now, democracy must have these different aspects in it. So as you can see, this is a video I asked one of my students to make to show today. And he is showing us the dystopian society. What the students decided to do was create a hidden democracy within the dystopian society, trying to break all the rules. So earlier on, you would have seen the dystopian society with block houses. But then they went, right, we want to break this open. And as we explore this little video, we can see they've got trees, which doesn't really exist in a dystopian society. Then
I'm not sure if it's just me, but I don't think I can quite keep up with the video.
Oh, okay, no troubles.
So,
I can skip that. That's all right.
yeah, okay. Thanks, mate. Sorry, it's just a bit laggy over here.
That's all right. No troubles. The next part of it was students then created the Australian Parliament. So the AC created Canberra and Parliament House there. And as you can see off to the right-hand corner, they've also made the tent embassy, and that was something that really got the students thinking. They wanted to explore that further and find out why that was there. That was part of our trip to Canberra when we went there to explore the different places. I'm going to just skip through some frames, so hopefully the video will keep up on your side of things. But this is inside the Parliament House, and as you can see, they've actually put the English flags because they couldn't find Australian flags in Minecraft. But they've created the seats and they used the colours, and then throughout the whole Parliament House, they've also got signs of where of the different parts of it, explaining what happens in this room or how to pass a bill and so forth. Students were constantly working together throughout this whole task. And at the end, I'll discuss some of my worries I had with broaching the idea of using Minecraft in the classroom. So this is an example for mathematics. So this was position. As you can see at the top, we've got the longitude we can use as longitude and latitude. We can explore the map. And I actually got students to use Surface ink, digital ink on their Surface Pro, to draw over the top of their Minecraft map and put coordinates. They actually used a Cartesian number plane. And then they would plot things and ask students to go to particular places based on the coordinates they created. So digital ink was really, really effective in this task. Then, as I said, we went outside and put our drone up in the air and started taking photos of the school and looked at how can we turn that into a topographical map. And then we turned our Minecraft world into a topographical map, because part of geography was how do we as humans impact our environment. And students were able to draw a topographical map before and after the fact of their project and see how much of an impact without even realizing that they had. We then compared that to an aerial photo we took this term, and one that was taken a long time ago to compare the different things that have been built within the school. Looking into English within this unit, we then explored the different comprehension strategies. So if we use cars and stars, all of these different comprehension strategies were able to be used within the Minecraft and represented in that kind of area. So, for example, visualizing was a big thing, being able to summarize, and students were sitting there having arguments saying, no, in the Minecraft world, that should not be there because in the text it actually looks like this, which was great. I love it when kids have arguments in the classroom. So my final note is, what was my biggest fear about moving into this project? It was my first time jumping into a Minecraft world with my students. The biggest fear was there would be no collaboration between my students. I thought they'd sit there and stare at their computers and just interact with the computer interface. But it was the complete opposite. They were forever moving around the classroom, taking their laptops into another room or outside so the government doesn't see the dystopian democracy world within the dystopian society being built. They were getting together after school online and saying, right, connect at this time so we can work on our project and get this part section done. The other thing I was really afraid of was it being a huge gimmick and it only happening once. But as soon as I introduced Minecraft, my students built that into their digital literacy, and they began to explore the idea that Minecraft is another way or another platform to show their understanding and to show their learning. And they were able to take this into Teams, which I've been using a lot in my classroom this past 2 terms, and put photo images into there. They were able to use the Minecraft journal as well and drop that in there. So there was a huge... I think my worries were no longer needed to be, so no longer existed. They were wiped out pretty quick smart. So thank you, Travis.
Excellent, Jason. Thank you so much. The video was a little bit sketchy there. We were a bit pixelated, but other than that, all came through loud and clear, and some brilliant work being done. And I love once again the idea that when the students are working in that sort of dystopian or democratic sort of world, that their behaviour started to reflect what it was that they were learning about. I think it's an amazing transference of a digital tool, so being so immersive that it translates to real behaviour. So you can stop sharing your screen in now, mate, and thank you so much for sharing, Jason. I just want to finish off by sharing a couple of resources in. So the first one that was mentioned was the idea of Code Builder. So some people sort of mentioned that Code Builder was a part of the work that you're doing. And so Code Builder looks like this. If you can see my slide, just give me a thumbs up there. The Code Builder looks like this, which is basically sort of a split screen environment where you can sort of do some coding, do some coding in sort of block-based. It might be make code, or it might be Tinker, or it might be Scratch, or it might even be Java, and you can switch between those. And then you're sort of training your little agent to do some work for you. So that's kind of a different step, really, in terms of using Minecraft Education Edition, which takes it to a different level of computational thinking and those sorts of things for students. So that's a great way to go if you haven't experienced that before. Let me just jump to the website here, which you'll be able to see come through in a moment. And that is the education.minecraft.net website. So if you're looking, how do I get started? How does it work? How do I find some of these awesome lesson plans that are being shared by teachers around the world? So Lynn referred to her one about the big human body and getting kids to explore that. That's on here. But if you have a look under some of these menus, there's a whole Get Trained section. There's support for technical folks about how to set it up. There's information here on lots of different things. So education.minecraft.net is a great resource for you to take away after today's call and have a bit of a look. And if you're interested in doing some of that training, it's all freely available for you to get a hold of. have a look on the education.minecraft.net website there, Greg, and you'll be able to download the code builder if you go to Get Started, or you can go to Support and go to Download, and you'll be able to download the code builder version and watch a little training on how that gets going in your classroom. So lots of different ways to engage, and so once again I wanted to thank the team who've been involved with us tonight in sharing what they've been doing in their classrooms. So special thanks to Chris, to Lynn, to Lawrence, and to Jason for taking the time to share what they've been up to. Thank you so much to everyone else who's been engaged in the window with us, and if you have any questions, by all means go to education.minecraft.net there, or you can also email me at trsmith@microsoft.com if you would like to ask any questions or get hold of any resources. So with that, thank you everyone, hope you enjoyed that, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks everyone.